When we're asked to plot an inequality on a number line, there are three things to think about: where the circle is going to go, whether it's going to be coloured in or not, and which way the arrow is going to go. So in these two questions, when we're asked to plot it on a number line, first thing, we look for the number, which is 3. So we're going to draw a circle above 3. If the inequality has a line underneath, like this one does, then we shade it in. And then finally, I always think of this inequality like an arrow. In this case, the inequality is pointing that way, so I think of it like the head of an arrow pointing to the right. So for our inequality on the number line, we're going to put an arrow pointing to the right. The actual length of the arrow doesn't matter, it's all about the direction. Same thing applies on the second one. We look for the number, which is 1, so we draw a circle above 1. As this inequality does not have the line underneath, we do not colour it in. And then, yet again, the inequality is like an arrowhead pointing to the left, so we draw ourselves an arrow to the left. Remember, the length of the arrow does not matter, as long as it goes to the left of the circle. For these two questions, we're going the opposite way. We're actually asked to write down what the inequality would be when we're given the circle and the arrow on the number line. So for this first one, because we always have an x on the end, we always start with our x first, and this is important. The order really matters. Next thing is to look for which direction the arrow is headed. Remember, I thought of inequalities like an arrowhead. We've got the same thing here. Inequality will be pointing to the right. In this case, it's not coloured in, so we do not need the line underneath. And then finally, the circle is above -3, so we put -3, and that's our answer for that one. On the last one, same idea. There's an x at the end of the number line, so we start with an x. We've then got our arrow pointing to the left, so we put our inequality pointing to the left as if it's an arrow. This one does need the line underneath because the circle is coloured in. And finally, the circle is above the 2, so we put a do. A very common mistake with this is that the arrow is above -3 here, and the arrow is above 3 here. So some people write these down as the numbers, but the arrow doesn't actually matter, remember. It's about which direction the arrow goes in, not where the arrow is. It's all about where the circle is for our number.